Hey fam, welcome to IRL Achievements. My name is Rachel. Sorry I didn't introduce myself last week. It totally slipped my mind. But yes, my name is Rachel, and if you're here last week, you know I started my weight loss journey. I'm glad to say I've been consistent in working out and mostly eating healthy. There was definitely times where I ate more junk food than I was supposed to, but I've been at least pretty good about keeping it limited into certain quantities. But yeah, I won't be weighing myself until the end of the month. That's just something I don't want to weigh down in my mind, because I know my weight tends to fluctuate when I work out, so I'd rather do it at the end of the month where it's more consistent than doing it week by week and having that, fluctuation, be pressing on my mind and, making me a little discouraged. So pushing that until the very end there. But I was actually able to do something this week that I wasn't anticipating on doing for a while, and that was go to a concert. Now, this concert has several lineups, most of which I've never heard before, but then there was one band I really wanted to see, and I kind of just want to give an overall review about these bands and where I thought their performances lied. So my least favorite performers were Kevin Quinn and Abby Robertson. The reason why they're my least favorite is because they sounded so similar to each other. And if you know anything about Winter Jam, you know they are, at least Christian music tends to sound super similar to each other. Since their performance was, I think, pretty much back to back, their similarities was quite blatant. So it was not my favorite going from one performer to another and just kind of hearing the same stuff. And kudos to them, because performing is something that is not easy. Performing, especially in front of hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands, is rough. But good on them, they were able to do it and give out a good performance. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Some of my favorite performances were from New Song, which is a staple of Winter Jam. If my history is correct, I think they are the ones that started it. But my absolute favorite was Skillet. Skillet is a band I grew up with at a super young age when I started going into classes to be a percussionist. Their drummer was the one I wanted to emulate more than anybody else. So Skillet was the band I played to most often. Their sets were insane. There are portions of their songs and their performances were the guitar player, the bassist, the drummer. They were on these elevated platforms that were on lifts, and they would just lift them in the air, which was insane. They would take these portions of the stage, which wasn't actually the stage itself, it was just next to it, and kind of go around through the crowd, which is actually really cool. And then other times where they just had these fog machines connected to these gun-like arms, and they just be shooting fog into the crowd. It was really cool. Skillet for me is a band I've seen before. They're a band I'll definitely see again, regardless of how much time passes or how my music taste changes. They're just that biased band I'll always be there for. What surprised me was this one artist called KB. This man put so much effort into hyping the crowd, and he got there. And I felt so bad because the moment he got the crowd hyped and excited to go on to the next act, there was an intermission. So all that energy just stopped short. And it took forever for that energy to be picked up again after all his hard work. But he did very, very well. Some of his mixing choices were a bit questionable, but his performance style was really, really good. As for the rest, not they were good, they just didn't leave too much of an impression on me. Next week I am planning on focusing on some more skill-based achievements, things that can get my portfolio grown and my skill set grown as well. So more photography-based stuff, videography-based stuff, and try to expand that portfolio so I'm more employable. Because that's one of the main goals, is to become more employable so I can get a decent paying job in order to pay off my student loans, because that's just going to hang over my head until it's gone. But yeah, that's something I want to focus on next week. What about you guys? Is there anything that you want to achieve? Any goals you have specifically in mind for the next week, next month, next year? What are you guys up to, and what do you want to do? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, have a good rest of your day, fam.